Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Under Hood Show presented by Mel Hambelton Ford. My name is Phil Nightingale and Kelly Hamilton joining us here live at the great call-in show.
Good morning.
Kelly, how you feeling, buddy?
Well, a little bit tired, but I'm here.
I get it. Me too. So anyway, we were over at Salt City Racing last night. I had a great show turnout with the Heartland Modifieds and the URSS Sprint cars. And Gus, thanks for all the technical help in the background, taking care of everything there. And Kelly, thanks for everything you did over there last night and everything else too with the gates and the trucks and all that kind of stuff. But it was a little long night, but we did get a race in. That's what my biggest point was. It was our opening night. I got to apologize for how long it took, but again, we put no water. We'll get into that here in a minute. Let's talk about what the show's about. It's a call-in show. 316-462-3673. We'll talk about Salt City here in a little bit. But Kelly, it's going to be some questions, I hope, about what's ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be. But we also can talk about anything in the automobile world and anything that you want to talk about as far as new products and stuff. We got to talk about a few things might be going on at Quick Lane, and also what's going on with employee pricing is still in full force from that part too. So 316-462-3673. Every caller that calls in get a great price package. And Kelly, every time Josh is off with his boys at a tournament. I believe he's in Manhattan, I think. Don't quote me on that. But he's somewhere. He felt bad as he was gone this week going to his meetings in Detroit. And I said, you better go hang out with your kids and support your boys. So he took off. So, Kelly, thanks for hanging out again with us today. And I always challenge anybody that sets in with us is, can you rattle off what's selling in that package? Oh, got him.
Well, you're gonna get a nitrogen tire fill. We're going to put nitrogen in your tires, and you're going to get a BG prize pack, which is our 44K and MOA added to your vehicle.
Okay, I'll take it over.
Okay.
The works package. Okay, motorcraft oil and filter, tire rotation, and most importantly, the multi-point inspection. $10 to Mel's Diner. $10 in our Ford Pass reward points, and our great products from BG are CF5 and MOA for your motor oil.
One of these days, I'll write all that down.
Yeah, she's just good like me. You'll just kind of remember it.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, each and every caller calling in, 316-462-3673, get something live. And from that part, so let's get the phones ringing, 316-462-3673, and that'll get you right to the front desk. Tell the girls you want to get patched into the podcast, and we'll take your call, and then we'll mail you out the great price package. So anyway, we were over at Salt City last night, and had a great crowd, had a great car count with the Heartland Modifieds and the URSS Sprint cars, and ran a little long last night, but I'll tell you, because I wanted to get the show in, I wanted to make sure the opening night was a way to go. But I will tell everybody, apologize for how long it took on the track, but we put no water on that track, and we did everything we could to dry that thing out, and it was still pretty wet for the hot laps in the first couple of heat races, but we kept working on the track. And I will tell you, this morning, Kelly, I woke up to probably 5 to 7 racers that had texted me saying thank you for a great racetrack. So to the crowd, I apologize how long it took and everything else. We qualified both sessions to line the cars up right. I think that's the most competitive way to make these cars work and race together. And I think that proved the point. But, when you're qualifying, in the stands, you think we're not racing. You're right. We're not really racing, but those guys are qualifying for their starting position. I've had people say, well, start early. Well, I would have started a whole lot earlier, but we just couldn't get that track. I was over there from 8 o'clock yesterday, and, it still was spitting rain until about 11 o'clock.
Yep.
So it was really questionable if we was going to get the race in. So we did everything in our power to get the race in, and we did. Had some exciting racing and stuff too. So if you got any questions about Salt City, let me take those questions too. And we can talk about that part too. But again, can't thank the Heartland Modified Touring's coming to town for the first time at Salt City. Had a great car count with those guys. So Trenton, Austin, and Eric Shesterman, thank you for a great performance there. Then we got to flip over to Kyler Fetters and the URSS Sprint cars and all those guys that came and raced with us. Thank you for racing with us. And most importantly, I've got to give a handout to Jesse, Chad, and Jason. Those are the 3 guys, Kelly, that worked the track.
Mm-hmm.
And they were there. They got there about 10 o'clock and worked all day. helping to get that track prepped and stuff like that. And there was a couple times in the call last night I didn't understand what they were doing, but boy, the time the features hit, we had us an awesome racetrack, many multi grooves tracks. The track was heavy, which we mean it was wet, which is normal for how much rain we had.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it put up some good races. When I woke up this morning, I said, and those drivers were texting me, thanking me for they were all doubting the racetrack when they first got there. And I saw them all coming up to the gates, looking at it and saying, wow, what's going on here? What are we doing? What are we doing? But I will tell you, Chad, Jason, and Jesse, those three guys knew what to do with that racetrack. They knew to let it set as long as they possibly could before we had to start working it. And I was getting nervous myself too, thinking, let's get them tractors on there. Let's get it going. But
when I got there yesterday morning with the Deuce and looked out at the racetrack, I thought, man, I have my doubts.
Yeah.
It was pretty muddy.
Well, let me tell you, all morning there as we were working the track, setting things up and getting things ready, and it was still kind of spitting and raining and stuff. I was having my doubts we were even going to get a race in.
Yeah.
From that part too. So got to thank everybody that came last night. If you've got any questions, comments, whatever, please throw them on the chat line, or hey, let's get the phones ringing, 316-462-3673. And we'll take your calls live and any questions you might have about your car. It's supposed to be a call-in show. What's ailing your car?
Yeah.
Something you don't understand or whatever.
Yeah.
But today can be about anything you want to talk about in the automobile world or racing world or whatever from that part. Of course, we got NASCAR headed to Talladega. Can't wait for that big race tomorrow.
Yep. We will. I'll be watching that one from the comfort of my living room.
Oh, I get it. Now, okay, so Mr. NASCAR fan, who do you root for?
No.
What do you mean no?
No.
What do you mean no?
Nope.
Get in the chat line. Who's your favorite? Who do you root for in NASCAR? Put it in the chat line. Hell, let's call on phone. Let's have a debate over who's going to win the race at Talladega. How about that?
This is a fairly new venture for me. The whole NASCAR thing. I've never
finally caught up to real sport. Is that what you're saying?
Okay. Now I've never really been a huge fan, but
whoa.
Here recently, well, I've watched it in the past. If I really want to get a nap in, I'll turn on NASCAR or golf.
No, come on,
come on.
Yeah. Hey, Scott Stiles, good seeing you too, buddy. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. You and Warren Hardy. So it was great to see you too. I hope everything's going great with your situation and stuff there, Scott. And I think you had a little fun time out at the golf course yesterday with Warren, which is cool. That's what you guys love to do. I wish I had more time to go play some golf. I would love to go play. I love to play that game, but just need some stuff. So Scott and Warren, thanks for stepping by and saying hi. I really appreciate that much. And it was cool to see you, buddy. So morning, Leonard. How you doing? So anyway, it used to be, I will tell you, it used to be years ago, it would be I'd watch the first 20 laps of NASCAR, take a nap, wake up and watch the last 20 laps. But anymore, it's kind of fun where my daughter and my son-in-law come over and Jake comes over and we get the old fan duel going and we bet on the cars and all that kind of stuff, have a little fun with there and stuff too. So now back to who you rooting for?
I don't know.
Don't lie.
I don't know.
Okay, get the chat line going. Who you rooting for Talladega tomorrow in the big NASCAR race? 316-462-3673. Okay, we got to get an update. Tim Daniels, in the last couple of weeks, he's been making a long trip to Virginia, and he's driving his 24 F-150 hybrid. And he just texted me. I believe I bet he's home now is what I'm going to bet. But let's see. So he's been driving this hybrid. He had a 21 hybrid, and he upgraded to the 24. And he's back home. And he went 2664 miles, 49 hours of driving, and averaged 19.5 miles to the gallon. And he had, of that 2664 miles, he had 308 on electric.
Wow.
So very cool. That's
pretty impressive.
That's a testimonial of the hybrid, and I'm a big fan of the hybrid engine in those trucks. If I was buying a new F-150 today, I'd have a hybrid in a heartbeat. The in-town mileage of those hybrids are crazy. I can get, if I really drive it nice, and it's hard for me to do that, I can get 30 out of that thing in town. And I had another gentleman call me yesterday that just bought a F-150 hybrid. They call it the Power Boost, is what they call it. But he called me, and he is getting 24.
Nice.
So, and that's my thing. When I usually don't drive a hybrid, I get about 15 to 16, and then when I'm driving a hybrid, I get about 20.
Yep.
Kind of the rule of thumb and stuff too. So,
well, there's some uses for them besides just driving them, right?
Yeah. So anyway, Tim, glad you're back home safe and sound, and and made your trip good. So very cool. Yeah, 10% of electric for that whole trip. That's pretty cool and stuff too. So Tim, welcome home, and thanks for the stats throughout the weeks. For the 3 weeks in a row, we've been updating us on his mileage and stuff as he took off and went out to West Virginia. NASCAR needs to go back to the old style cars like the Infinity cars or Elliott. Yeah. There's a few things, Rad. I agree with you on some of these things in NASCAR I don't understand. I hate the stage racing. I understand they're going to, give the points at that certain stage or whatever, but I think you just got to keep racing. But again, I, all the money that's made with TV, that's why they've got to have those breaks in there and stuff like that too. So I get that side of the coin too. But down to race, I've been watching racing NASCAR many years and watching all the stuff. But anymore now that's the bets going on, we're betting the stages and all that kind of stuff. So ain't no time for a nap, Kelly. Of course, I
Yeah.
guess you probably need a nap every now and then, don't you?
Well, today, this afternoon, one might be in the books. That race last night was awesome. It had been a lot of years since I've been out to the grandstands and saw a race on the big track, the half-mile track, and man, those cars move
Don't they?
out there. Yeah, those cars move.
Yeah, it's cool. The half mile. A lot of guys, it is harder on a motor, but you just have to gear the car differently on how you run those straightaways and stuff too. And I will tell
Yeah.
you that a lot of guys have them things wound for sound because they got to get the speed out of them. Had a lot of discussions with some of the crew chiefs standing on the stage about gearing and stuff last night too, because as heavy as that track was too, you could take that track and if it was not as heavy as it was and put it down to a dry slick track, I mean that would change gearing drastically again in those cars. But they had them wound tight last night.
Uh-huh.
I mean they were we were wound tight, and I think we did lose a couple motors last night too. I know we did.
Yeah.
From that part. So just gotta be careful how you gear that car over there. And of course, we got to congratulate Tanner Mullins, one of our great partners we have with Tanner. He picked up his win over there. That's the first time in 3 years he's been able to race over there.
He was scooting.
He was,
He was
wasn't he?
scooting right along.
Yeah, he's been trying to not trying. He's been running the USMTS schedule, and it seems like every time we were racing over there or whatever, he was running the USMTS schedule and couldn't get over there. So it was cool to see him come in there, and he dominated his heat race and kind of led the whole race from that part, from the feature done. And then got Jeremy Hewish picked up the win in the sprint cars, and of course he's pretty dominant in those sprint cars. And of course another good partner of ours, Jeremy Campbell, finished up in second in the 51 car in his 305 sprint car. So that was cool to see Jeremy up front there running against those guys. So I hope Jeremy will run a few more 305s with Kyler's group, the URSS guys, but he also runs that 360 car, and I get that too is another commitment he has there. But just love the partnership with Jeremy and his crew and stuff too. So from that part. So anyway, so you're still not going to admit to who you root for in NASCAR?
I don't. I'm not. I'm not admitting to anything.
God, you're terrible. You're terrible. Yeah, hey Tim, somebody's telling me that we need to get you a Lightning. So I know how Tim feels about that Lightning, but also Jeff, I kind of know how you feel about that Lightning too. So, and just so you know, Jeff and Tim are father and son, and they both have F-150 Lightnings.
Okay.
Yeah, one's white, the other one's gray. So they kind of compete and battle a little bit. Imagine that, right? Jake and I never do that either.
Right,
so
right.
we don't have to worry about that. So, hey, let's get the phones ringing 316-462-3673. Let's talk about your favorite NASCAR driver, who you're rooting for tomorrow in Talladega, or anything ailing your car, anything in the world. Let's just fire it up. Let's go. Kelly, anything exciting happened in Quick Lane last week that you can talk to the customers, listeners about when they can learn from, something you see that could have prevented something? Josh has always got something that, of course, as many cars we run through here, there's always something that in the main shop, but down there, Quick Lane.
One of the big things that I see, and Josh and I have discussed it on the show before, but it's one of the big things that I see that could be easily prevented is tire wear and tire wear due to tire pressure. Whether it is tires that have been run low and have, uneven shoulder wear, the shoulders are worn off the sides of the tire and you still have very good life left in the center of the tread just from underinflation. Or, a low tire, you pick up a nail and then continue to drive on that low tire. And when a tire gets to a certain amount of being low on psi, it just chews up the inside of the sidewall and destroys the tire. So tire pressure is one of those things that we see down there quite often, where the life of those tires could have been greatly extended, um, with proper inflation. And we've come a long ways with TPMS sensors nowadays, and you get that light on your dash and everything like that. But I think a lot of things people don't take into account. We've kind of been I don't know, pampered a bit with cars these days. You get in the car, you turn the key, and you go.
Yeah, it's
You're not stopping at the gas station. When's the last time you popped your hood at the gas station to check the
years.
oil?
Well, I've used that same example back in with Josh on the show too. Kelly, is back when I was working with my dad. About every 200 miles, you'd pull into the gas station. You would, I would start filling the car full of fuel, take about 20 gallons. I'd pop the hood, and I would fill the battery.
Hmm.
Okay, I'd open the radiator up, see if it needed radiator. Probably put a quart of oil in because it probably needed another quart of oil.
Hmm.
Okay. Then I'd wash all the windows, and then I'd come around and check all the tires, and every tire was low because those old tires, they just seeped a
Yeah.
lot faster and everything else in that part. Today, we're going 5,000 miles, and we didn't even think about popping our hood.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like I've talked about me changing from the 3,000-mile interval to the 5,000-mile interval was so hard.
Yeah.
So hard for me to understand that, but I get it, how much better the oils are and all that kind of stuff too. But we can keep talking about that here for a minute, but we got to kind of get things caught up here for just a minute. Got a comment in here maybe that they're thinking maybe you're a Kyle Busch fan. So I don't know, might be. Tim Daniel thinks Ricky Bobby's the best. I don't know about that either. Winning a race backwards, that's not real racing. That lost me on that. Everybody doesn't think that lost me on that show, but it did. Okay. I've watched that show one time, start to finish.
Oh, come on.
One time. The very first time I was watching it, I was at my buddy's house. And that's what, but it's about, I don't know, 15 minutes into the show, and he's going backwards and wins the race. Todd looks over, we lost Phil. Anyway, I said, yeah, you lost me. This is not the way it's supposed to be. I mean, it's not like Days of Thunder. Days of Thunder is pretty real.
Yeah.
Okay. But so anyway, I watched it one time. We took Jake's Modified up to Willie's Carburetor in Illinois to get it tuned and everything with Willie. And on the way back, we put it on his iPad on the center console. So I listened to it. I clearly couldn't see the whole show or anything else like that. But I've never sat down and watched it start to finish. And everybody thinks I'm crazy and everything else like that. But that is the God's honest truth. That's the only time I've listened to it and just watched bits and pieces of it the whole way through.
That's funny.
So anyway, Tim Daniel says he is never drinking electric Kool-Aid. I get it. The hybrid's the way to go, though, isn't it, Tim? Agree? Okay, Rad Steffen's back on, and he's rooting for Elliott now that Junior's gone. Hey, I'm with you. I was a big Junior fan too, just like his dad. But she's still not going to pick your favorite one you root for. Do I need to call Chandler and find out?
Well, Kyle Busch, he is, I think he's fourth from the top favored.
No, still, yeah.
For tomorrow. Blaney's
is one.
Is favorite to win tomorrow.
Yeah, that sounds right. It's a Ford, baby. So like here, when Ellie and Sam get mad at me because I don't pick a driver. I push for the Ford is what I do. As long as the Ford wins, I don't care. But I guess if I really had to pick my favorite Ford, it would probably be Joey Logano. And Alan, if he's listening, is going to get mad at me because he thinks he doesn't like Joey. I don't know why. But Joey's kind of a good racer, I think.
Is that the
22 car?
Is that the tire you have in the?
Yeah,
in
I have
office?
Joey Logano's tire in there from Talladega.
Yes.
In my office sitting in there. So yeah, I've got that's 2 years ago, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, one of the many years we were top tire sales of any dealership.
One of the many years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in my office is a tire off Joey Logano's car that ran at Talladega. I think it's the right rear tire too, I think. Don't quote me on that. I think it's the right rear. I have to look at that too. So anyway, back to tire pressure. Okay, hold on. Rad's back on again. Yeah, my dad went across the finish line backwards across the line to finish. Yeah, heart race as a kid. Yeah, I think I remember that, Reg, when I was watching your dad doing that. So he wasn't doing it on purpose like he did it in Talladega Nights. He was doing it on purpose. Your dad accidentally did it. So, but anyway, it's fun if you gotta be able to take some fun and have some teasing on both sides, right? Take some
Oh yeah,
teasing, right, Kelly?
yeah, yeah.
Take some teasing. Okay, back to tire pressures. So we went to be in every 200 miles, every 5,000 miles, popping our hoods, but also tires. How much have they changed? I remember we used to get tires and get 10,000 miles out of a set of tires. I mean, now you're getting 60, 70, 80,000 miles out of a set of tires if you take care of them.
Well, just like everything else, the technology has changed so much. The compounds, the even the tire construction. Back in back in your day, you were running the stone. Uh,
Nice try.
ti-
Nice try.
but bias ply to radials, and then the radial construction has come way farther than it was when it first came out. And
Yeah.
now the compounds that you have and stuff like that. I mean, there's manufacturers out there that are making 85,000-mile tires,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah. That's the thing is too, is it's not just I still remember the most popular size back in working with my dad was a G7015. Okay. Those sizes aren't even out there no more.
Right.
And then I remember they came out with an F7014. And it was supposed to be the better fuel economy, better rolling resistance, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, just a different size tire is what it was. But look at where we're at today. Now we can't just go off that size of the tire. We have to get the speed rating.
Yep.
We got to get the load rating, and we got to get the right type of traction that we need to have for these cars to work. And you can have a same size tire, but you're going to have probably 10 different applications with that tire if you don't set it up correctly.
Hmm.
I mean, all the time I see when we trade for used cars and stuff, and of course I tease Josh every time he shows me how much these tires cost, and I said, Josh, I just need 4 tires. I don't need 8. But the amount of time we have to just get the tires replaced on the cars, there's great tread on them, but they're the wrong application.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you ever see them come in where they're the
Oh,
wrong load and speed
oh
rating
yeah,
on trade-ins?
constantly. And I
Yeah.
tell you, what we're really finding here lately is every tire has a life on it. It's not the tread wear life; it's the time on those things. The It's a 5 years. Some tires will go 6, but that's also what we're finding a lot here lately is the tires are out of date.
Yep.
And even though there's plenty of tread wear on them, they're out of date. They're technically by the Highway Safety Board, they're unsafe.
Right.
So every tire has what they call a Julian date on it. You can check and see when that tire was built, and make sure that you're still in date within that 5 years. So, a couple more questions. Good job last night, guys. Can't wait to run there myself. JC, thanks for the comment. I check my tires and oil every week. Well, Daryl, I will tell you, Daryl, you're one of the few, probably, I bet, that's doing that anymore. Kelly does it too, probably.
I've got people for that.
Yeah. Get it. But, again, back to these tires, you talked earlier about the tires wear. There's so many tires that are ruined today because of lack of maintenance on the tires.
Hmm.
We think we can just go and, uh, make things go by what the dash tells us, that sort of thing. But all these lights that come on the car, that's the way I say that's the way the car's talking to you and telling you there's something going on. And when they put the tire pressure monitoring lights on, I remember people would pull in, hey, get this light off or get the light. Oh, yeah, we will, but we need to figure out which tire's low or what's going on with it or whatever from that part. It was something new and different. But I can't tell you how much I love today the tire pressure monitoring systems. You can see the pressures.
Yeah.
That's so handy instead of looking at them. And I've said this on the show before when we went from bias ply tires that they stood straight up and down. You could look at a tire real quick and you could tell if a tire was low.
Uh-huh.
You can't do that today.
Right.
So anyway, we went to the radial tires and it made a bulge. Instead of the tires being straight up and down, driving down the highway, it had a bulge. Of course, we were selling the tires back then. Of course, my dad always had the latest and greatest tires on our cars. We pushed for that first set of radials on and we took off to go to a ski trip in Colorado. And I'm going to tell you, we had the CB radios so we could talk to each other in the cars instead of cell phones,
Uh-huh.
I bet we stopped 5 times because the guy behind us thought we had a flat tire or a tire
Really?
going down. We get over, flat tire gauge. Nope, it's good. Way to go. But I'm not kidding you. We stopped at minimum 5 times going to Colorado because everybody's freaking out, thought we had a low tire.
Because of those radials.
Yeah. Now look what we're at today.
Yep.
Can't even look at a tire and tell what's going on with it either. So anyway, hey, 316-462-3673. Anything alien car, tires, brakes, batteries? You want to talk about anything in the racing world? Talk about what happened at Salt City last night. Love to talk to you from that part. Get ready for May 9th for the next race coming up on the schedule. Going to be fun over there too. We got a lot of exciting stuff, partners over there for the May 9th race too. So 316-462-3673. And anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, you want to talk about racing, or if you want to find out who's Kelly's favorite NASCAR driver is, if you call in and guess, we'll even give you the package, valued over $130 for that. So 316-462-3673. And Mr. Daniel thinks it's Kyle Busch. You still want to admit it. Is that what it is?
No, that's not what it is.
Oh, you're just going to say I haven't picked one yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My favorite is going to be the one that I bet on tomorrow before the
race. Yeah, I know. So, yeah, we'll have a lot of fun with that tomorrow on the FanDuel and making the bets who's going on there, too. How about the NFL draft? I've watched the first night, a couple of hours of it, and I hear there's a lot of drama going on there. Have you been keeping up on that or not? Or
not a bit.
Oh, because Dallas not getting anybody this year. Is that what's going on there?
Until they get their stuff together, I'm not really interested in watching any of it.
Yeah, I like watching the draft a little bit because of the movie Draft Day, because I think that's another movie that's really down to earth. I think it's really how that stuff kind of goes down and stuff. You ever watch that movie Draft Day? You need to go watch it. It's
never even heard of it.
Draft Day. Kevin Costner's in it, and basically his dad passes away, so he gets to become the general manager of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Cleveland Browns. Yeah, the Cleveland Browns. Sorry, I had it backwards. But it goes through draft day. Starts off for him, like 4 a.m. and it's got a countdown and how the teams are calling each other and trying to make trades and all that kind of stuff. And basically, Kevin Costner gives up like 3 years of his first round draft picks at the start of the day. Time the end of the day comes up, he's got them all back and plus more. And it's a great show. You need to draft day, Kelly. Go watch it. From that part, and it's a great show on how it goes on. So that's why I kind of wanted to watch the live NFL draft. So I did last on Thursday night. I got home and I think I watched the first 2 rounds and so tired I went to sleep and stuff too. But I think it's fun watching that stuff. But anyway, go watch Draft Day, Kelly. Big NFL fan you are, you'll love that movie. David Wakefield, it was a great show last night. Thank you. You're very welcome. And it was a great show. Just went a little long, but couldn't control Mother Nature. We could have canceled, but I wanted that show in so bad, so I did everything we could to put the show in. And like I said, it's really rewarding to hear that. So, David, thank you. And then, like I said, this morning I woke up to my phone with several drivers texting me, thanking me for the situation and how good the track was. And everybody was nervous because what we were doing with the racetrack and stuff too. But I think all in all, it turned out to be a great night. And can't wait for May 9th for the next race coming up. We got 3 races in May. So May's going to be a busy month over there at Salt City. Next thing I got to tell you, I got to give a big kudos out to Casey Jo Gimmel. She put on a kids show down there last night. It was really, really spectacular. We had fire truck. We had the big old fire truck there with the boom. We had the city brought in like 5 implements and different dump trucks and boom trucks. We had the National Guard there with one of their trucks. We had there's a SWAT team with the trucks. We had the National Guard with a bouncy house. Casey Jo brought her car in. Superior Boiler came with a nice display in there. There was a snake deal in there. 6 of the kids got to go. 8 of the kids got a pit tour to go down in the pits and go down and meet all the drivers. And they just had a great time at that deal. And Casey Jo did a hard work, and I can't thank her enough just for doing that, for supporting Salt City. She's fantastic to work with, and from that part, just can't thank her enough for that. And we're planning another kids' night at the end of May. I think it's May 22nd or 23rd. What is that date? May 23rd is what we're planning another one from that part. And I tell you what was really cool, Kelly. I went out there to help the fire guys line up that big truck, and they put it on the jacks, the outriggers. Put that big old boom up in the air. They were excited to be there. Yeah, it's kind of the same difference. We go to Pizza Ranch every Tuesday because it's kids' night to eat free. So we go over there and hand out kids and bring some race cars over there. And it's so fun to watch those kids get in the cars and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but last night she had a great crowd of kids down there. Everybody got a whole bunch of checkered flags, all kinds of stuff. But it was a fantastic night. So Casey Jo, thank you for the support of Salt City. It was really cool from that part. and everything else. Just can't thank you enough for everything you're doing to support Salt City Racing over there in Hutch. So stick around for May 9th. Get ready to go. Get on my race pass, get your ticket spot, get things ready for that part. Hopefully, Mother Nature will support us a little bit better, not have a bad situation that part, but we'll see what happens. So, anyway, Rad's back, and that was back when Dad worked at Chevrolet and Hutch. When Dad finished the race backwards, I was a young kid. Yeah, it was a long time ago, Rad. Rad Lee was one of my techs over there. So, long time ago. So, anyway, 316-462-3673. Kelly, you're running everybody off. Nobody wants to call in.
I guess.
Is that what it is?
Well,
Kyle Busch fan.
They say I have a face for radio, so
You said that.
this
So
live stream deal.
yeah, exactly. So anyway, everybody, got any more comments, questions about Salt City, anything in your car? You want to call in and find out who Kelly's favorite NASCAR driver is? We can do that too from that part. But anyway, so we talked a lot about tread wear, tire wear. We always talk about the multi-point inspection on this report, and it's kind of on this call-in show, Kelly. But I'm still talking about this when we first started that report back in the 90s, I think. No, mid 80s. No, yeah, mid 80s. And the customers would come in. You know what they tell us? I don't want it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't touch it. And because I think they really thought we were just trying to sell them something they didn't need. They didn't realize we were trying to really take care of them and help them. And like Josh says, it's your prerogative to do what you want. It's our job to present it to you for what you need.
Right.
But it's you don't have to buy anything but what you want. But we're supposed to offer it to you. It's kind of like I say, if you go to the doctor and you're going for your health checkup and all he does is check your blood pressure and say, hoo, see you later. Not a very good checkup, is it?
Right.
So kind of the same thing.
And I still see folks from time to time. It's very rare, but there are still folks time to time that I want an oil change, nothing else. I don't want an inspection. I don't want this or that. I just want the oil change. And which again, that is their deal. However, that multi-point inspection, it's nice when we do that multi-point inspection and you can watch an item on your vehicle go from a green condition to eventually a yellow condition. And if you wait long enough, a red condition, and you have time to think about that and plan for those things. And, we're talking tires earlier. We'll talk tires a little bit more, they're not getting cheaper, and when you can watch those tires go yellow to red and now you need tires, well, you've known you need tires and you had time to kind of plan ahead and everything like that, and you come in and hey, remember we've been talking about you needing tires? Well, now it is an immediate deal and you're ready to do it.
Ken, that's my biggest thing. I've talked about that too, is just being able to plan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a rough guess, and sometime we need to do this, is take a month of tire sales and the cost of those tires and how much they're going to do an average cost of the tire sales. And I'm going to tell you that I bet an average cost of tires today is $1,000.
Yeah.
So just all of a sudden cough up $1,000 is kind of hard. But if you can plan for that and know that it's coming, then you can be ready.
Yeah.
Same thing as your brakes. Now the brakes aren't near as expensive as tires, but still it's a nice chunk of money to take care of what's safety thing, the most important thing. I always say you got to be able to stop before you go. But if you do that multi-point inspection, we're actually watching those brakes to see what happens there too. But the next thing is just having a certified tech underneath that car, looking at it, finding different things. And I can't tell you how many times we find something that's a small issue, but again, your choice to fix it or not. But I would want to know that I've got an issue.
Absolutely.
It's like bringing the customer back and showing them exactly what we've got for them and proving what we have that the car needs.
And it's of course we'd like to be the ones to take care of it, but it's more of a whether we take care of it or you do it yourself or somebody else does it, we want you to know about it. We want you to know the condition of your car. We want you to know what's going on. So when that item, if you let it go long enough and that item does eventually fail, it doesn't come as a total surprise.
Yeah. It's like I said, that multi-point inspection. There's so many things we check and look at. And I mean, simple going through the lights. A lot of times you don't know that light bulb's out or whatever. I mean, you can even get a ticket for tag light out. Hate for a cop to be that particular with your situation, but he can write you a ticket for a tag light out. You might never know that tag light's even out.
Hmm.
Simple little things, but the biggest thing for me is just having a certified tech look that car over in the air, making sure any fluid leaks, anything is coming loose, anything you can see, you can really look at that inside tire wear. Because you can't see some of the inside tires on the rear of the car without laying down underneath it and seeing what's going on with that tire. The alignment check as we drive in the stalls, checking
Yep.
the alignment every time to see how that alignment is, because that is more crucial to your tire wear probably than air pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 50-50, I
Yeah.
guess. You know,
I mean, they're both right up there. Very important. But yeah, we do have the alignment checks on the service drive down there at Quick Lane, and it checks your alignment every time you pull in. It checks your tread depth, and those tread depth readers, they're so precise. They'll pick up that shoulder wear on a tire.
yeah.
Then it'll display it right on the screen. So every time you roll into that facility, um, all that information is right there on the TV screens on the service drive, and you can see just exactly where your vehicle's at.
Yep. Exactly. So anyway, 316-462-3673. Kelly's running off all the callers today. That face for radio is what he's got.
Well, maybe a bunch of them were at Salt City last night and they're
Might have
still at
been.
home sleeping.
That might be what it is
You know?
too. I agree with you. Too. So anyway, the other thing is employee pricing. Jump on our website, mh4.com.
Oh yeah.
We have some killer stuff on 24s and most of the 25s. All the 25s are included except the 25 Super Duties and the 25 Expeditions. And of course, Bronco, Raptor F-150, and Dark Horse Mustangs are not included, but everything else is covered. Jump on our website. You can see exactly what that price is at. Let me tell you how good that price is if Kelly and I want to buy a car from the dealership, we buy them what we call D plan. And that's a great discount. This now is what we call A plan, which is Ford's employee pricing, which is another step deeper than what Kelly could buy cars for. So it's really a great savings and stuff. The prices are clearly marked right on our webpage, shows you everything we got. And here's the next thing is, I promise you, there's nobody around his in probably a 2-state, 3-state area that has the amount of inventory he has. I know I've got something for you to fit your wants and needs. Don't let employee pricing pass you up. Don't let that miss you. It's good through June 2nd, but I've also seen Ford pull that thing early, so don't let you get caught and not be able to get it. But I hope they keep it out there through June 2nd, like they said, and don't pull it. But again, plenty of time to look, plenty of time to see it from that part. But don't let employee pricing step off, and just get on mh4.com and pick your car and look at the discounts. And there's also some 24 also have the employee pricing plus rebates.
Nice.
24 F-150 XL and XLT have $1,500. Some of them have $2,000 on top of the employee pricing. So lots of savings, lots of stuff in there. So from that part too, just check out all those discounts and don't let that deal pass you by from that part. So anyway, Kelly, anything else from Quick Lane at all or anything at all?
Man, I could sit here and talk for days.
Yep.
I'm telling you. We I've been pretty busy this last week, and doing what we haven't thought about in a long time is those old split rim tires.
Oh, you did that this
Phil?
week, didn't you?
Yeah.
I did. Used to do a lot of those too.
It was interesting doing them on our deuce and a half on our big army truck. Those things, they were date coded to 1974.
Ones you took off.
Yes.
I will say though, that thing's been setting quite a bit.
I don't know if you have ever tried to dismount a set of those that have been on for 50
it's a little
years.
tough, isn't it? Yeah.
But they fought every step of the way.
I bet they did too.
But we got it done. So
hey, let's go. We got a caller on the line. Let's let Kyler Fetters jump in here. Kyler, how are you, buddy?
Well, I'm doing all right. How are you guys?
Pretty good. I
Doing
didn't think you'd be up yet, buddy.
Well, my phone's blown up. They just canceled Salina for tonight. So
I heard. I know.
no.
Yeah.
I know. We had everything ready to go, head up there and stuff too. But I'm going to tell you, Kyler, I'm a little wore out from last night, but it was a fun night, buddy.
Well, I can't say that I'm actually out of bed. I'm still laying here, but I'm still at the fairgrounds in the bus. So I'm still at the racetrack, and
yeah,
we stayed up last night and he got Kelby's car ready for tonight, and things just happened. But I'll
Yeah, I
tell
know.
you, how cool was it that we got our season opener? And
It's very cool. There's a couple comments on Facebook, people upset how long it took and everything else like that. But you know what, Kyler? I've already said earlier on the show, Chad, Jason, and Jesse, those guys put that racetrack on point. It took a little bit to get the moisture out of it, so it was a better track and stuff. The modified guys were a little questioning it at first, and then also after their heat races and stuff. But boy, that after that, look out, that track came in, and we had us a great track. So,
one thing, I've done this a very, very long time, and I've never been able to not get on the track till 5 o'clock a race day.
yeah.
And that's the first time we got on the track because it was too wet all day. The weather didn't help us with that. It didn't, sun didn't shine, and it was just cool all day. But I'll tell you, those guys know what they're doing. And the next thing is when you have a day like we had and a week like we had with rain, usually it's a one lane, follow the leader, freight train.
Yeah.
And it was last night.
Yeah.
It wasn't. And I'm so tickled by that. So hats off to all them guys once again. I mean, it's just, it's all,
Yeah, I tell you, Kyler, here's the thing is I was getting nervous what you were doing, what those guys were doing and stuff. And me and Nick had a conversation. We both looked at each other and said, just let them do it. Just let them do it. And guess what happened? It turned out just fine. But I was getting nervous. I tell you, I was a little nervous what was going on there. But I think, Kyler, thinking back now, going through the night, the only thing I think maybe we could have done is maybe we should have put the sprint cars out there first instead of the mods.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know. It could have been. That you always think about what you could have did, and I think that probably would have helped with the tires. But that this is such a big racetrack, and every driver looks for the fastest way around. And unfortunately, that's at the bottom of a racetrack.
Yep.
I wish I could. Have you ever went bowling and you played bumper bowling with a kid? I wish I could have that out here. And bumper up the top and bumper out the bottom, so they had to be through the middle and widen that racetrack out a little bit. So they're not around the bottom or top. I really feel like this. It's just as much the driver's responsibility to help us widen out that track as it is anything.
Yep.
Because when they run one line in hot laps or whatever, God dang it, I feel like hot laps should be to make sure your car runs and make sure that you're going to be all right for the night. I don't know. Maybe somebody can argue with me on that. But
no, there could be a lot of discussions on that too. After the night there, Trenton Berry and Austin Kruger from the Heartland Modified guys came up and asked me, "Hey, what could we have done different? What would you see? Whatever." I'm going to tell you, I didn't see anything. Nothing.
No. I think everybody, and I got on the radio and I said, "Guys, please help me out." And there was a lot that did. I always tell them, say, "Hey guys, make a couple laps on the bottom and make a couple laps to the middle," and a lot of them listen. The modifieds are a little different because they got their noses are down a little farther, and they scoop up that dirt and they don't want to eat it and be their cockpit be a sandbox, a sill box. But I do get it. But having those trucks, I'll tell you that APAC truck, oh man, that thing's great. Yep. And Chad fell in love with that Army truck from Mel Hambelton.
I know, I seen him out there.
I walked over there and he had a smile from ear to ear. And I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I like this truck."
Well, hey, Kyler, you need to understand something here. Kelly's a little jealous. Kelly got to drive it over from Wichita to Hutch, and he's seen Chad in there, and he was a little jealous.
Yeah,
so. I know that's a lie because I seen Kelly when he got out, and he said, "This truck ain't made for somebody as tall as he is."
No, it is not. No, it is not. I had enough of it.
Yeah, I bet you did too. Josh drove over the old cab over, and he said he sent me a bill for the dental bill.
Yeah. And you know what? That truck turned out great. Your guys at the body shop did a heck of a job. When I seen them rolling that, pictures of them rolling that blue, and I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." But I'm like, "You guys know what the hell you're doing. You guys do great work."
Yeah, so it's great the partners we got with APAC bringing that water truck over, Murphy Tractor and Equipment, all that grader and the Packers, and
Oh yeah.
Hutch construction rental out of Hutch now. They brought over the skid steer. They brought us the telehandler, the lights. I can go on and on. Superior Boiler, Pro Value, Woodwork Manufacturing. So I wish I had my list in front of me of all the great partners we have. All the signs are hung up down there of that sort of thing. Dusty Moore from Xener Electric had to help us with the timing lights last night. He got the line in there, got them fixed up for us. So Dusty, thank you for that. Thought that was going to be a little bit more of a disaster than what it was, Kyler, but it turned out okay.
And what about Pizza Range, man? That food was great. And I didn't realize it, but you guys had chicken and all that stuff down there too. It wasn't just pizza. You guys had everything down there catered, and that was great.
Diana and Donnie over there at Pizza Ranch, it's a partnership. It's not a one-way street. So they took very good care of us. They're taking care of all the VIP nights. And Kyler, you got to let all your people know that's down there to come down and have some food before the races and stuff too. It's sort of what it's for. But it's a great partnership.
We found the dessert pizzas too. Did you have any of those?
I sure did.
That's just what I was getting ready to say. Kelly ate a whole one himself, not a whole piece.
That blueberry pizza they had there was pretty darn tasty.
That was.
There was a lot of good things. We're fine tuning the PA system. I don't think we had one issue with the PA last night.
Yep.
As far as the crowd goes, and we've done extra things to make that better. So, if you haven't been out to Salt City, you need to come out and experience it, because each race gets better and better and better, and we're fine tuning things and learning, and it's just great. I think the guys overall really liked the new pit area.
Me too.
And coming on and off, there's some things we need to fine tune, but a lot of the things we had to fine tune. There was a lot of water. My shoes were soaked, and that infield's kind of dark. I don't know if you noticed, but
I don't know what you mean. No,
I walked through there, and I stepped through water, and I was soaked. But
yeah,
the pace. And then the safety truck got stuck one time.
Oh, really?
Did you see that?
I missed that one.
Oh man, we had a rooster tail that was 60 feet tall when trying to get him out.
I didn't know. I missed that.
Jesse pulled up behind him on the four-wheeler trying to push him out, and I think he got sprayed and covered with mud. That was the best part of it. But no, all in all, that Heartland Modified Tour, the United Oil Sprint Series, they put on a great show.
Yep.
And it did go to about 11:30-ish, I think, but. We had to do a little extra track prep throughout the night, and took a little longer. But I know it was cold. We were going to do driver introductions, but we scrapped that.
Yep.
But I do appreciate all the fans that came out, and Hutch proves there's a lot of diehard fans out there.
I already get.
We're about the only track around that got to race besides Salina last time, but there were a lot of cancellations, and we very could have easily canceled because of the weather.
Yep.
It just shows the commitment we have to making this track go and wanting to race out here.
Yeah, we were out there working on the track, hanging up the signs and all that kind of stuff. At 11 o'clock, it's still spitting water coming out of the sky. And I'm thinking, God, what are we doing? But I wanted that race in so bad too. I couldn't stand it. So that's why we kept digging. We all kept together. We all worked as a team. It worked great. And again, can't thank Jesse and Chad and Jason for all their help with that prep track. And then how about Casey Joe Gimmel on that kids' night? I mean,
I was just getting ready to say that too. I
gave her some good kudos earlier, Kyler, but I got to give it again. I mean, she's doing that the kindness of her heart and everything else. So I got some ideas what I'm going to do for her for doing that. But Casey Joe, again, everything you did for that kids' night, those kids are so happy, so great. This morning she sent me a couple videos. She's got them all lined up down there and screaming, "Let's go racing" and everything else. So it's a great deal. All those trucks and the fire trucks and the bucket trucks and all that stuff she had down there. Very cool. The SWAT team was there. The National Guard was there. So, of course, Superior Boiler put on a nice display there for us, too. Another great partnership with those guys. Can't wait to see if we can grow that into. And then I think I seen something now. I wasn't sure what it was. I was flying by them, but I think there's some lady and there were some snakes.
What?
Yeah, petting some snakes.
Snakes?
Snakes, yes.
Well,
I'm pretty sure I'm right. You scared of snakes, Skyler?
Oh, I don't like them.
No, so you're scared of them.
I'm glad I didn't tell you that last
night. There's always next time.
There's always next time, right?
Yeah, a touch of truck, a touch of snake too, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
And,
we had a few issues. We had a few issues with the scales. I don't know.
well,
I,
I think probably what happened there, in my opinion, probably over the winter, a lot of that ice storm we had or whatever probably got in one of those sensors or something. So Nick and I already got a call in the Salina scale. We'll get them out there and get that fixed before the next race. Oh yeah, Casey Joe. Yeah, Mike Striegel and his wife come out with the Outlaw Kids Racing Tours, which is kind of the same kind of thing. Those 8 kids got to go through the pits, got all kinds of autographs and stuff, and then they got to do the redraw. Got some cool pullback cars made by Big Corner Creative from that part. But just an overall great night, Casey Joe, and can't thank you enough for everything you do and support Salt City, man. It's very huge and very, very appreciative.
Yep. No, it was a good night.
But yeah, Casey Joe, we need to next time make sure we get the snake thing back now, so I know we can have some fun with the snakes because I didn't know Tyler's affection towards snakes.
So this is an automotive call-in show. What do you all know about RVs? Because I lost my alternator coming up here the other night, and Jesse and Jason, not only track prep guys, they're hell of mechanics too. They got me up and running on that. I tell you, I was losing all my power, and this bus has a battery boost button that goes from the chassis batteries to the house batteries. And I had to hold that button from about Kinsley on. I wasn't turning around to go back to Dodge. And when I got to Main Street, my lights started getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And I thought, oh, this is going to be bad with this big old bus and trailer parked on Main Street right in the middle of Salt City Brewing. I'd had to go in there and chill out all night. That'd have been terrible.
That would have been terrible, dude.
That's just been awful.
Talk about that's another great partner, Salt City Brewery. We're going to have some great fun things with those guys too for that part too. Oh, hey, James Furman just kicked in. James Furman, thank you for the money for the Hard Charger Award. Kyler, he was gracious to give us $100 for each deal. Awesome. So, James, thank you for that.
So awesome. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then
and we probably should have looked at maybe a Hard Luck Award with the street cars last night. We had a few issues, but other than that, we really haven't tore any race cars up here at Hutch per se. But we did tear a few up last night in the sprint car class, but that. Unfortunately, that happens, and I also hate to say it, but unfortunately, that does sell tickets to people. People like to see some of that, unfortunately, But I talked to the guys that tore up. They were all getting things ready to go and being at Salina tonight. So they worked really hard to get cars back together. It's just unfortunate, but hey, guys, I appreciate you. I'll let you go. If you need anything from me, you let me know, and we'll recap tomorrow, I'm sure.
Kyler, go enjoy your day. I guess I'm gonna change my whole schedule up here and get some work here done at the dealership and stuff too. So
and that late model, get it ready for next Friday night. We're in Beaver on Friday night and Dodge City on Saturday.
And bring the mod Saturday, right?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I've decided, and I'm going to put a post out, and this is for the hobby stocks in the sport mods. If you run Beaver on Friday night, I'm going to give you a half off pit pass at Dodge City on Saturday night.
Hey, that's cool.
Yeah, so we'll put a post on that. But this is for the stock hobby stocks and the sport mod classes. We're going to run them as sport classes with the United Rebel late models next weekend down at Beaver. And those guys send me pictures of Beaver. They're getting the track prepped up for that. It's kind of one of those diamond in the dirt deals down there too. It don't look like much in the wintertime, but the weeds growed up, but they get it all mowed up and prettied up and the track looking good. It's going to be a fun place to play. So, But all right, guys, I appreciate you.
No problem at all, buddy. Thanks for tuning in, and drive safe back to Dodge City. And we'll talk the first of the week, buddy.
Yeah, bye.
See you, bye. All right, Kelly, kind of running out of time. James Furman, it was a long night, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I agree with you. Mother Nature was at. I thought John Freeman was going to go out of the parking lot in the first lap. Yeah, that sprint car took a little bad little spill, but best part about that is he's okay. Yeah. That's the best part from that.
The car will be.
Car will be. Take a little fun, put a little time to put her back together and everything else like that, but I'm just glad John's okay from that part. So.
My wife, Chandra Hamilton, commented on here. Great time last night. Can't wait to go back. And that is not a lie. She talked about that thing. I mean, the whole way home. And then after we got home for a while, she was still talking about the races. She was pretty impressed by the whole deal.
That's great. It's fun to watch and have fun down there. And I tell everybody, if you just go to the racetrack one time, you're hooked.
Yeah.
So anyway, Kelly, it's time to sign out and go have get some more work done. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everybody at Salt City the race last night. Tune in for May 9th will be the next race, and we'll have a lot of fun with that too. So everybody stay dry, stay warm, and hopefully we get some warmer weather coming and let's get some springtime stuff happen instead of this cold, dreary rain from now. But I know we need rain too, so it's kind of a catch-22 on that side too.
Just not rain on race days.
That's right. Just rain.
Yeah,
You can rain
there you
every
go.
day, but Friday
There
and
you go.
Saturday. How about that? Hey, everybody, have a great Saturday. Tune in Wednesday night for updates on Salt City Racing, and tune in next Saturday for another Underhood Live show. Everybody have a great Saturday. Talk to you soon.
Have a great week.